But we're certainly here tonight for the Stage 5 elective selections. So there's a screen that's shared with you there, and I'm just going to work through step by step on what that means. And that didn't work. Sorry, technical issue. Trying to get my next slide going. There we go. Okay, so let's just recap to put everything in perspective. Stage 4 is Years 7 and 8. It's a set curriculum. Like they had a set curriculum through primary school, the Stage 4, 7 and 8 is also a set curriculum. A lot of subjects undertaken in 7 and 8. And as we move through those year groups, as we move and progress through the HSC, the number of different courses that children study reduce, and they are in a position where they can start choosing some of those courses. And certainly we're moving on that. So our audience tonight effectively are those Year 8 students choosing electives for the very first time. And we've got some Year 9 students who are choosing their electives for Year 10. So they've already started that elective process and studied some of those subjects, and now they get another choice. So that Stage 5, that Year 9 and 10, is where there is some choice in the curriculum. And for those Year 8 students, it's the very first time they're able to say what subject they could study. So this is an exciting time. And it's a great way to engage kids in their learning and start to determine where their likes and interests are. By the time they get to 11 and 12, they're very focused on those courses that meet their needs best. So English and maths, well, they naturally happen. English is a compulsory one, mathematics isn't, but everyone chooses it, even though they hate it through school, but they all choose it. And but the kids get to choose all those courses that really match to them. And they sometimes choose a blend of sciences and humanities and across those. But it's all back down to their interests. So Year 11 and 12 is predominantly their choice. Let's see if this works. Yes. This is interesting because I looked at this in the context of remote learning too. You know, high school learning, doesn't matter if you're in Year 7 or Year 11, Year 12. Being organised for learning is huge. And if students are organised with their learning, they're going to enjoy it a lot more, and they're certainly going to do well or do their very best in certain terms. That's a key aspect about success with high school learning, and that's being organised. And I think in the terms of context of remote learning, normally we have a timetable, the routine, the organisation that sits around everything encompassed in classes. And it's a very different situation. So, but their organisation is still equally important, great deal more self-regulated, but equally important. And this is a real benefit at the moment because the conversations happening at home around the learning is more prominent than ever as the kids are learning from home. But when they're not, and we're coming out of this, that continual discussion with our kids about their learning is crucial. It's absolutely crucial. And we don't have to be experts at any bit of that learning. We just need to engage in that discussion, talk about their homework, not nagging about their homework, but talk about their homework, talk about things they've learned at school. And often they won't want to come out with all the ins and outs about what they're doing in school and their homework and their assignments. But a few targeted questions, and it will just elicit a little bit of information. What is important about that conversation about learning is sharing that intrinsic interest with them about their success and their involvement and engagement. So, and we say here, talk to parents about your learning. This is for the kids now because that is, it's a crucial part. And the closer you get to the high school certificate, the more stressed parents become as we get to the end of that school life. So the stresses of school are very much shared. Most important at the end there is to continue to strive for improvement, that everyone is capable of great things. And sorry, I'm going to do this because my screen is going to turn off. Everyone's capable of great things, and it doesn't matter where your strengths are or how academically able you are or how much interested you are in some of our hands-on activities. It doesn't matter what it is. We just got to continue to strive to improve. There's more we can do, and there's more we can do to make sure that we can open up opportunities for the future. Okay, so let's think about stage 5. Let's think about 9 and 10. In years 7 and 8, there were so many subjects they had to do to give them a good taste of a broad curriculum. But in 9 and 10, we focus on these subjects as mandatory subjects. So English, mathematics, science, history, geography, and PD, health PE. The kids will also do 100 hours of physical education through the week, and some of that is sport. So there's sport in there as well, and students are expected to continue in sport when they're back at school throughout 9 and 10. So those subjects are pretty much no different to what the kids are doing now, but certainly moving along the syllabus continuum. As the kids enter into those subjects, we certainly do arrange those groups so that we can best support the kids. So those high potential kids in G and Y will stay in G and Y, will be moved to G and Y. Now, those students who are in G and Y at the moment in Year 8 does not necessarily mean you'll be in G and Y in 9 and 10. You need to make sure that you'll continue to strive to improve and work your best to make sure that you're demonstrating that high potential. And likewise, those people in MEA who have aspirations to be amongst the GY potential group, high potential group, you just strive for your best and do your very best and work towards that. But the kids in MEA, this is true differentiated learning here. So you do exactly the same curriculum. We can approach it a little bit different to give that hands-on support. And that's the why that we don't grade our school along the 5 classes. But we certainly band them like this and put the 2 groups into 2 classes and 3 groups into the other 3 classes. And that's worked really well, continues to work well. So, and when we do that 9 and 10, depending on how good my timetabler is through the process, mathematics is graded as mathematics, science is graded as science, English, HISI, PD, Health PE is graded as one group. And so the kids will, in other words, can be in an MEA class for any one of those, or can be in a G and Y class for any one of those. Whereas in Year 7 and 8, they were in the same class the entire time. All right, so there's the mandatory courses, and now we've got these elective classes, and that's what this is about. Students will study up to 6 elective courses through both 9 and 10. So that's 3 subjects in Year 9 and 3 subjects in Year 10. Sometimes some students may choose a subject in 9 and it runs, and they choose it again in Year 10 and it also runs, the numbers are there, in which case they're allowed to continue to study 2 years of that particular elective. We managed to sequence the topics so that students can do that. So they don't repeat what they did in Year 9, it's a continuation. And the topics are not necessarily, they don't follow a sequence. They will be a chunk for a Year 9 course and for 1 year, and chunk for a Year 10 course. So they can do both if the numbers run. So we say up to 6 elective courses, because if they do continue on for course they like into Year 10, so the Year 9 selecting subjects now may select the same subjects they're studying this year. And quite a number of students do it. In actual fact, we've got about half-half. We've got about half the kids who select something new, and the other half who want to continue in 1, 2, or all of their subjects. So that happens as well. So the Year 9s are selecting a subject now. The Year 8s are selecting for the Year 9s at the end of, well, sometime next year, at this same time, maybe a little bit earlier, we will come back and the current Year 8s will be choosing their subjects for Year 9. So each year we get to run that process. We look at all the subjects that we can offer. They're there on the website, they're there in the booklet. The kids do the subject selections and put their preferences down. We use the timetable program that has an excellent algorithm, works out the best fit. Basically, the students are voting on what subjects will run. So the most popular subjects based on student choice run across three different lines. As I said, they'll run for 1 or 2 years. If it runs for 1 year, we call that a 100-hour course. If they study it over 2 years, it's referred to as a 200-hour course. And if we add up all the periods and the minutes, effectively, one elective subject is equivalent to about 100 hours of learning in that school year. The talented technology class, so we do have a number of students, boys and girls, who are in the talented technology class. They sat that test at the end of Year 6 and moved on. Sorry, I was just looking at one of the questions came through. I'll answer in a minute. Those kids there will have the option to continue in what we described back then as the accelerated program. And that accelerated program allows the students to enter into a HSC course studying information processes and technology. So that means in year 9, they will study the year 11 course. In year 10, they will study the year 10 course. At the end of year 10, they will undertake their higher school certificate along with year 12 in that one subject. Year 12 have got all their subjects they're studying, but for year 10s in that program, just that one subject. So that's on offer. What usually happens is some kids say, oh, I'd rather not do that. And with a note from home so that the families are well aware of that change, then we don't force them into the program. So it's not compulsory. On the other hand, there may be students who were not part of the talented technology program, and where there are vacancies to enter into that, and they've done well on 7 and 8, then they can certainly apply and be part of that accelerated technology program. What's great about that program is the kids get to experience a higher school certificate journey, year 11, year 12 studies with all the assessments, the way that we study, which is very different to that of 7 to 10 because of the nature of the courses. And they get to do that before they even start their year 11 and 12 journey along the way. They can count that mark and they count that subject towards their high school certificate, or they could choose to undertake brand new ones. All right, when I was at school, and it was quite a long time ago, year 10 meant school certificate, but that had been taken out some years ago as they changed the leaving age. So 14 years, 9 months used to be the leaving age. Now it's 17 years. Students must be continuing in their education until they're 17 years old, or finish the year 10, and then they may embark on employment or apprenticeships, etc. So what they've got instead of the school certificate was what's known as the record of school achievement. And the record of school achievement says that as students leave school, whether it's year 10, year 11, year 12, halfway through year 12, halfway through year 11, doesn't matter. From the year 10 point until that point in which they leave, they will receive and be entitled to their record of school achievement, which will summarise their academic progress through school that's held by NESA as their credential. And that's what the record of school achievement is. It looks like that's just a nice picture of one. It's the full range of student achievements. And each year we give grades. At the end of year 10, we'll provide grades. If they've studied those electives in year 9 and don't continue them in year 10, we still have to provide a grade for those year 9 electives that were studied. And those grades will forever appear on their record. So it's really important the kids realise that these are not just electives for fun. This is academic study in a broad range of areas across the school. So to be eligible for that, Rosa, they have to satisfactorily complete the course. Just the same way that year 12 must satisfactorily complete their study in order to qualify for the high school certificate. So there is an expectation that students are applying themselves. They're organised with their study and they're striving for their best. That's crucial. They will be awarded a grade across all their courses I mentioned a minute ago. All right, so students should make that choice based on a few things. Now, number one is we should not necessarily be saying, I need to prepare for my HSC by choosing the right courses now. That's not the way we want to go. This is a great opportunity for students to taste the curriculum. This is a great opportunity for them to choose different electives so that when they do get ready to embark on year 11, they can choose subjects which they know a little bit more about. Rather than just hone in on one thing or hone in on things that are just someone said it's great for them. This is a chance to really taste the curriculum. They certainly shouldn't be doing subjects that they hate because apart from the mandatory ones, if they don't like a course and someone's told them to do it, then they're probably not going to be engaged. They're not going to strive for their best. Motivation comes about when there is some sort of intrinsic interest in there. So they need to ask themselves those questions. You know, would I like this? Is it a subject that I could actually get into? Is it a subject that I'm happy to do my homework or assessments in? Now that's a little bit hard to answer that question without knowing a little bit about those courses. So that's why the learning packages that went out this week had an inclusion in the English ones where students were asked to go and do a bit of an explore, if you like, and answer some quizzes to ensure they've done that exploration about what these courses are about. So that's an important part. So you can't answer these questions about where we've got interest or we can do well at those courses if we know very little bit about them. We should not choose courses because all of our friends are going to choose that course. We all make friends together, and as we get older, we learn to mix with different people. So that should not be the basis. It shouldn't be the basis on what teacher we think we're going to get, because I can't tell you what teacher you're going to get. It's too early in the piece for us to know what teachers will take what classes. There's a very comprehensive process that needs to be undertaken to get a timetable working. So it's no use guessing about what teacher there is. Don't make an assumption that one course is easy, because they all have a NESA syllabus. They all have assessments identified in those syllabuses, and your teachers expect big things. So that should be. There's no easy course. Try not to get influenced by someone. Certainly ask the questions, but try not to have someone con you into a course because they feel it's right or a better one to do. Sometimes we might choose something because it may be useful to our senior years and may be useful to our careers, but for 9 and 10, it's not the big factor at this point. Certainly going into year 11, it is. In year 11, I think it's a very important point to consider. But the year 9 and 10 electives are really an opportunity to taste that curriculum, to experience the broad nature of some of these courses, and then be able to have a better understanding when choosing subjects for year 11 and 12. Okay, so you have the email we sent initially had the information booklet in that email, but that information booklet is also available on the website under the year groups, where all the assessments are posted. And it's also available on the website we created last year for subject selection. And luckily we did last year. We couldn't have our families in. We had the kids in, but we couldn't have our families in. So we created that. This year, we can't have our students in as well. So it's made it a little bit more complicated. But certainly that booklet is available on the websites with subject selection. They do provide a full list of what's on offer, and they provide some descriptions. And on the website, there's some videos where, very short ones, where the teachers or the head teachers provide a description of what those subjects entail. So that's a lovely snapshot of the website. No fancy pictures on there, just they're all the subjects on offer. You'll see through that website. Just give a click, watch the video. Most of them only go for about a minute. It's an easy way to get a good understanding of the broad range of subjects we have on offer. Okay, so where to from here? We've asked year 8 and year 9 to do these learning packages to explore that website, explore the school's website, and explore the subject information booklet. Getting our heads around that sort of stuff is really important. Had the kids been on site, we would have been doing things with them here to bring that understanding. So it's important that undertake that activity. The other thing to do is there are these two websites, and the discussions at home are really important. And they sometimes don't start off so easy, because where do you start? But after you watch some of the videos, even with your son or daughter, and watch those videos, or even ask them about the videos, ask them about the learning packs, it will elicit that conversation around it. There are some kids out there that are going to be going, I know what I want to do, and there's other ones who go, I still don't know. And that's just normal. All right, so we get through that by continuing that conversation. Unfortunately, we're not able to elicit that conversation as freely as we normally would. So the conversations are all happening at home. In one way, this is great, because those conversations always happened at home, and now they're equally important to get going, or even more so important, sorry. The subject, the actual selecting the subjects will be done online. It will be like a survey, if you like. And we hope that the student will do it with mum or dad or both, and talk through to make sure this is what the kids would like to do next year. So you will be sent links. You'll be asked to go to this link. You'll be asked to put certain information in. You'll be provided information to help do the identification correctly. And then together you can do that. From there, we take that information, chase up anyone where it didn't quite work out. Sometimes it may not work out from both sides. So we might see some things going, oh, this doesn't look correct. It's missing something. So we'll follow that up. But other times you may get back to us and go, look, we think we made a mistake and we modify. So there will be a window of opportunity to be able to address anything that happens like that. Then we'll process those. So we're going to leave a window. It's not going to be on a certain night. It's not census night, although census, we had a window in. So it's a window of opportunity in week 7. We'll send the emails out and we'll get you to find a time that's convenient for all of you to sit down and do those subject selections. I guarantee you it's shorter than census, but the discussions may not be. Okay, so the process we've started with this evening, we're going to do the subject selection at home. What we do then is we just import that information. It's as simple as that. It sounds that simple. We put that information into our timetable program, and then we start to filter it. We filter it in different ways. We look at what subjects clearly the students haven't, there is no demand for them. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 kids that want to do a subject and you go, well, I can't run a course with 1 or 2 kids. So what we do is we go to their first choice, their first spare choice. So they'll make certain selections and then we'll just take their preferences and work in that direction. It's very rare for students not to get something they had asked for. So if they fill the preferences out correctly, it works out pretty well. So we do that. The computer's got its algorithm, it sorts that. We make decisions on saying, well, let's remove that subject, because if that removes that subject, that student then flows in the mix of other subjects and it resorts it all over again. So it's a process. It just keeps sifting and sifting and sifting until it finds the best fit for the students. Once we've done that, then we will send the notification out to say, hey, this is what our subjects look like for 2022. And here is where here's where you are in terms of what electives you've selected to do and where it fits in this scheme of things. So the reserve subjects are very important, just in case one of those subjects don't run. And we do try very much to ensure a broad curriculum to make sure we don't lose the focus on what schools can offer in a stage 5 curriculum. All right, so this is the first time for year 9. This has already started this journey. For year 8, this is the very first time that you can have a say about your curriculums. Year 9, you're heading in the second one. But this is a great opportunity. This is a great opportunity to have some increased ownership to what's being studied and enjoy it. You know, do your best is something that can come when we're in something that you chose to do. So it's a great opportunity. So the selection of these subjects are very important.